Welcome to Wargroove. In this video, this is part 2 of my match against the Sedge. SedgeHun, Big Hoon, basically a tournament level, awesome role-playing Sedge player. Now, given that once again I'm out of my league, here's what we're doing this time. I got to pick the stage, and Sedge gets to go first. So while Sedge is taking his turn, it looks like he's done. Let me talk to you about the stage. So, I don't have a lot of maps, a lot of downloaded awesome competitive maps. To make it interesting, and because I'm very good at fog, I decided to try to play a fog map on a very classic stage. If you recognize this stage, you'll know that Caesar's great on this stage, especially if you're going first. I'm going second, but I figure Caesar's still pretty good. The object of the Caesar game is to try to get a catapult to mid as quick as you can, and then use your groove to get off like double catapults or a positioned catapult that you can then fire. Something like that. The problem is, the idea is you've gone first, and you have a pike line, and you're not playing against someone who knows very, very much what they're doing. So we'll see how this works out for me. Now when I was queuing up with Sedge made a usual comment that the Sedge tends to make, oh, the little puppy doesn't stand a chance, when Sedge saw us pick Caesar. So I decided, it's perfectly in character for Sedge to say, but I'm not sure how that sits with me being called a little puppy. Caesar's a majestic beast, so I decided that my victory condition must include dogs somehow. I'm going to build a ton of dogs. I don't know what, but I'm going to do something awesome with the dogs in this match. They're going to be a part of how I win, or lose, horribly. One of those two. Dogs are great in fog matches, because they're basically like Recon from the original Advanced War series, except they can see through, forests or stuff like that. That's pretty useful. Put them on a mountain, extend their vision range. Dogs are good in fog. You need at least one, really, if you want to play in a fog map. So, since I went second, I had the extra infantry, I built another infantry, send them down to take their barracks, and I built a dog. I built a dog right away, because, like I said, I gotta avenge that, that little puppy comment. Little puppies are scary. Now, I have to say, I severely underestimated how terrifying it would be playing the Sedge in a fog-filled map. It actually felt, listening to the music, and just hearing, random footsteps. That's a bug, by the way, they're still working on that. They're like, I'm being stalked by something in the shadows in the forests, and I can't see anything. It was horrifying. It was, really playing against Sedge. It's just playing against Sedge, it was perfect. I was really happy with the choice of packs. Alright, so, still can't see anything. I'm gonna take that barracks, definitely move my dog down as much as I can to try to get some vision on the situation. And I can sort of see one of the forests, but that's about it. So I decide, alright, I'm just gonna make, Caesar a target. I'm gonna try to, bait Sedge in coming out of the forests and coming at me, and, oh yeah, straight build a trick. Now, I don't have a pike line. I don't have wagons. I don't have any of the, infrastructure you usually need to win a game like this. So maybe building a treb right there wasn't the best idea, but it works. So I start clustering all my units around this one village to protect it from, an attack from the right. If you attack that from the right, I can just swarm you with units, I'm in pretty good shape to attack from the right. The one on the left doesn't have as much forest unit, so I think I can turn before you can get that close to the one on the left. And I'm using Caesar, my commander, to try to bait an attack, because commanders are really gold efficient. You can just heal them up, it doesn't cost that much, and you probably want to trade. Your opponent uses units and positions, it's pretty good. So I figure, he could attack my sword, but then he's surrounded on 3 sides by the road. And of course, Sedge doesn't care. Sedge does not give any craps. He just ran right up, doesn't care if he's surrounded on road by 3 sides. Attack my infantry and start charging his groove. Now last game, I was able to defeat this awesome Sedge player, but they never got the groove up. This game, it can go on a little bit longer. If Sedge gets his groove up, that could be terrifying. Because this is a very brawly stage. Units are going to be low on health all the time. Sedge groove chain could be terrifying. Alright, so the first thing I do is reinforce, because, like, I need units to deployment is an issue. And then I'm like, alright, I wanted to hide my dogs, like, that was sort of a goal of mine, to make the dogs, like, a secret trap for Sedge. So I decided, alright, I'm gonna keep the dog up there, and I'm gonna attack Sedge with my commander. Because that worked out really well for me last time, just, you know, slap their commander with your commander. I was so tempted, but I decided, no, I'm just gonna use this dog to scout. And since Sedge's vision range is 4, he probably can't see my dog there, so I still have the element of surprise. And if Sedge did decide to stay there, he would get shredded to death, though I doubt this player would make that mistake. Now I'm just building on the dogs. I'm just building all the dogs, because like I said, I wanted dogs to be part of my victory condition. Could have taken out that infantry, decided to reinforce instead, keep my units nice and strong so Sedge can't, like, chain kill off them. I don't know, maybe I should have left it there as, like a you know, bait for Sedge, but I don't think Sedge would really let me start getting, like, infantry crits and more commander hits on him. And then night came out, and that scared me, because you're supposed to have pikes on the stage. You're supposed to have a line of pikes, and I have 0 pikemen! I don't even have a wagon! Even if I make a pikeman, it's not gonna get over here in time. That knight is terrifying. The one unit I have that can beat the knight is the tread. But, well, if he beats the tread, it's over. Also, Sedge is playing way more cautiously against me this time, learning from our last game. Immediately went down and reinforced. Additionally, Sedge said something along the lines of that he wasn't going to underestimate me this time. So I got the feeling this game is going to maybe play a bit more seriously, but this is Sedge we're talking about. This is SedgeHun. There's playing seriously, and then there's play style. Might really be trying his best to beat me, but still use a very aggressive playstyle. So I'm gonna turtle up, see if I can get him to walk close enough to my tread to do some damage. Like, still debating where to put the dogs. It's a tough call, it really is. And I'm making my villages super vulnerable. But I just want to keep my troops healthy, because if I keep my troops healthy, you know, I can stay defending this position longer. It's really my fault for not building an early wagon that cost me heavy. You need wagons, man! This stage is made for wagons. All about the wagons. Alright, well, my position is more or less set. I still gotta put this tread somewhere, and this is where I sort of fug, because I don't really put it in the best spot. Like, it's hard to know. I don't want them to see the tread. I want it to remain like an element of surprise, right? But on the other hand, I want to cover both villages and my units, and I don't want it to be vulnerable, and there's a knight now, so I can't risk someone takes out that sword and I get at the tread. I have all these positioning things to take into account. For the tread without the pipeline, not the best idea. I decided to just put it behind the village, making it, like, very difficult to attack. Because I know there's nothing in the forest, I know there's nothing that hits that tread in time. The village, you can't, like, stand on the village with the tread. The problem is, I didn't really get the other village in the tread's range. I didn't get that sword in the tread's range. If that knight goes for this stuff, I have absolutely no counterplay. So that was a bit of a mistake on my part. Keep in mind, just like the fog is causing trouble for me, I don't see what's happening with Sedge down there. I'm just causing trouble for Sedge. He's yet to see my dogs, and he's gotta know that I have more than a commander and 3 infantry. He's just gotta know I have more than that. I'm starting to see a pike, and that also scares me because, again, I have nothing to fight a pike with. The only thing I really have is my commander, and you kind of can't lose that unit. It's not exactly like, oh, well, I'll just sacrifice my commander. You lose the game if you do that. But I do want to bait with my commander. I want him to attack Caesar. I haven't been achieving that. I don't know, I feel like Sedge just learned his lesson. What's really cool is Sedge hanging out there, like, at the far edge of my vision range, like, I'm waiting, but my minions will come and kill you. Just stand right there, Sedge. Just keep standing right there for one more turn, please. Please. Please, just stand right there. No! Dang it, where'd he go? I don't know anymore. That's unfortunate. Just disappeared in the trees. Makes sense, because you know he's Sedge. Well, this is Sedge's revenge for last game, no question. Now, an alchemist can be damaged by swords. I probably have to sacrifice my swords to do it, but I could totally go ham against this alchemist and take it out. That being said, I'll get swept by Sedge, who will pick up more groove power for killing a unit, a pikeman, and a knight. So I decide, alright, I'm going to push my dog forward and see what I can see. And I see Sedge, and I decide I gotta reveal the trib. No choice here. I've got to reveal the trib and keep my eye on the forest and figure out what's going on, or I'm going to get overrun. Now, I realize that I can go very aggressive against Sedge, but if I do, I'm going to get Alchemist crit, and the Pikeman's going to hit me, and the Knight's going to hit me. It's a really tough call. And anything I attack Sedge with will charge his groove, and then he can go heal on the village again. I'm not in a great spot right here. And I just can't figure out what I should do. In the end, I decide, alright, I've got to be as defensive as possible. Only damage his units if I can be very, very sure it's not going to come back on me. There's no guarantees. There are no guarantees here. It's just not. Now notice, if I attack like this, that pikeman wouldn't be able to hit me, because 1, 2, maybe a stop by the forest. But I'd still get Alchemist crit, and then the Knight would hit me, and Sedge can also hit me back. I haven't done enough damage. So I decide to protect my village using the sword, start moving more swords down, and then I'm like, I need a pipeline. I really need a pipeline. But what am I doing? What am I doing? I need pikes! Can't not build pikes, this is Wargroove! So I finally say, alright, you know what, I'm gonna make a pike and a wagon. Just gonna do it. It's gotta be done. And I can't decide what to do about this alchemist! I just decided to sword rush it, and then Caesar, maybe I charge Caesar's groove, that could be good for me, but then I'm really going to take a lot of damage. I decide to do it to charge Caesar's groove. The side effect of that is now Caesar is super vulnerable, like crazy vulnerable. And I don't know what to do. I'm not protecting Caesar, not really. Not with my trib, so I move his infantry in front, figuring like maybe I could bait Sedge to the right of Caesar, and then hit him with the trib. And I could win that way. Maybe. Just maybe. Now notice that Sedge cannot see the trib, but Sedge can attack the trib. There is a very big distinction there. If Sedge knew the trib was there, Sedge could easily kill it. But if Sedge doesn't know the trib is there, Sedge can't attack the trib. So it's really, really fortunate that that knight did not go up, because if that knight went up and saw the trib, I'd be screwed. Sedge should go up, hit the trib. Though I will say that if he did that, I was also prepared, because I could surround him with all those dogs on either side and maybe get a dog kill on Sedge, which would have been great. So there was that. I wasn't completely leaving myself open for nothing. There was the dog trap. But it still would have been really risky, because if my dogs couldn't finish the job, ooh, it wouldn't have been great. Now notice, Sedge always starts his turn in treb range, but it never ends there. He always has a habit of just sneakily slipping away. And there he goes, recovering again. He learned from last game, when I got the commander kill, not to be reckless around me. This is why my nickname is Sneaky Dragon on the Discord. I won a lot of games with very sneaky commander kills, and that's how I win. I'm not really good at that tactics. As you can tell, as I do not have a pipeline yet. Alright, so I need to get a pipeline. That is priority 1. I'm going to advance my pike, build another pike, and then put the wagon in a position to ferry other pikes to the front lines. If you notice, I'm going to put them in a spot so I can go 1, 2, 3, and then step into the wagon for maximum distance. Or maybe I want to bring the pike on this side over. So yeah, I decided to go with that. You see, I could go 1, 2, 3 into the wagon and then deliver. Now I gotta figure out what to do with Caesar. If I go aggressive with Caesar, then I could lose. But if I don't go aggressive with Caesar, then there's a pike line that can come after me. There's a knight that can come after me. Sedge can come after me. I'm facing down a lot of aggression with only dogs for defense, and dogs don't defend. It doesn't work like that. One does not simply defend your base with dogs. They're great for attacking, but you don't use your pooch as a shield. That's a big no-no right there. Alright, so I just decide, alright, I'm gonna pull up on this village here. And, you know, my dogs will have to be a little bit obvious. You still can't see them, mind you. I've been watching the vision all game, trying to keep my dogs out of vision range. He's definitely seen one at one point, but I don't think he's ever aware of how many dogs I have at any given point in time. And that's my goal! Stealth dogs. And I think Sedge has been worried all game of what the hell I actually have, because there's no way he's seen much more than Caesar and a few infantry. And he knows I have a tread somewhere, but I don't think he's ever seen where that tread is, and it's definitely moved if he did in the beginning. Now I hear those footsteps in the fog again, it's like, oh my god, he's coming for me! He's coming for me! He's stalking me! It's scary! Alright, so I'm not in a great position. Sedge, I just saw that Quagmutt. That Quagmutt will give him some extra vision, especially if he gets on a mountain. But there are no mountains super nearby in my territory, and I know the mutt isn't like on the mountains to the right. So I'm good for now. My dogs are still stealthed. They're still invisible dogs, ready to pounce. I really wanted that dog win condition. Now, the pipeline is scary, and there's a good reason for it. You defend with it, you can attack villages with it. Now, I can't see that knight anymore. Goodness knows what's going to happen. It's not like the best situation for me, but I do have my units very defensive against this one village. Now, by repeatedly denying that left village, Sedge has been denying me income all the game. Really, the only reason this is worth it for me is if, by holding a defensive position, especially with the tread, I can get gold advantages other ways, but I haven't been doing that. If anything, I think Sedge has been doing a general better job of defeating me than I've been doing defeating Sedge. If it wasn't for taking the Alchemist and forcing Sedge to reinforce, and keep in mind, it costs gold to reinforce, and Sedge is more expensive than the infantry I've been reinforcing, although I did have to reinforce Caesar. Altogether, I've been holding my own, but I haven't really been taking an advantage, and if Sedge can steal that village from me, that's a 200 gold difference. It's 100 gold I'm not getting, and 100 gold Sedge is getting. It's huge. Now, Sedge has spent a lot of time thinking about this next move. You might have noticed that it's been a while and we haven't seen that knight. It's still Sedge's turn, but nothing is happening. Why do you think that is? Obviously, Sedge is very much afraid of the stealth factor, and I keep bringing that up because it's very important in Fog. Most people think Fog is all about not showing your opponent your unit and then stopping them at a forest. But Fog is really about keeping your units out of vision range, so your opponent just doesn't have the information of what you have. Not just where it is on the map, but what you have at all. It's one of the reasons the movement speed bug is a big deal in competitive games, because if you hear the sound of a giant, you know your opponent has a giant, and it kind of defeats the purpose. Alright, so Sedge went very aggressive against my commander, but I'm okay with that. I've been doing the math, and I figured he didn't have a great chance of killing my commander where I put him. Caesar has been bait all game, and for the first time, it sort of worked. However, Sedge could kill my commander with maybe 2 or 3 out of 10 odds right now. The odds are definitely in my favor, mind you, but it could still happen. It is theoretically possible. Now, if you want to win more often than not, you shouldn't go for this. You shouldn't go for this because Sedge still doesn't have great vision. That Alchemist might be able to see that tread, and a few other units, but not the dogs to the far right. Those dogs may be seen... No, they're out of the knight's range too, so the 2 dogs on the right are still invisible. So from Sedge's perspective, attacking Caesar right now, even with a tread in play, is a safe move, unless I have something waiting in the shadows. Oh, and this was going on, by the way, in Discord. I was taunting him. I was like, come on, you know you want to. Go for the kill, Sedge. All this waiting is just Sedge deciding whether or not to go for it. This is it right now. This is it. It's do or die. Is he going to end my commander right here? But of course, keep in mind, this is also my dog track. This is what I've been aiming for all game, and as soon as that puppy comment made me decide to go straight dogs through this match with the tread. Come on, Sedge. Come on. Go for it. Ah, you went for it. And of course, I survived with a sliver of health because that was mathematically probable. Now, if you're doing the math, if I move Caesar out of the way, I can get 1 dog attack, 3 dog attack, 1 dog attack that doesn't crit, 2 dog attacks that do crit, and 2 trev attacks. So the best possible order, in order to make sure that he does the least counterattack damage, would be trev, dog, move Caesar, trev again, dog, dog. That way I get dog crits and the least amount of counterattacks. Alright, so here I decided to just go for it. I don't think I do everything in the perfect order just because it is GG, and I wanted to, you know, make the dogs as visible as possible. He can see my dogs now, they're in full vision. And the fun part is the second Sedge moved there, Sedge could see that he was surrounded by dogs for the first time. That was great. That was a great track for a very fun and aggressive player. Alright, so if you liked this video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you thought this video was terrible, leave a comment. Tell me what you want me to do better. I'll consider it. I might consider it. Oh, and by the way, if you've got nominees for future interviews, Wargroove community members you think I should definitely be checking out, please, by all means, let me know. Leave a comment. Alright, guys. Well, I'll see you next time.